somewhere to go to be able to do that. On that note, because of the nature of that, we have to basically start phase 3 in the summer, like July or August. So if we miss a window of an August, we got to wait a full year, because we can't move everybody out into this other facility, temporary facility, until the summer months. So that's something to consider down the road as well. Now I've broken it up into outdoor sports, and I put that after. I've called it phase 4 from the beginning, but that doesn't mean that there's any reason, and probably should commence right now as well. All the stuff that we can do. We've got there's ice rinks, there's soccer fields, there's field houses, there's a number of things we could do there. I mean, even if, at the very least, we could start parking lot stuff and dealing with infrastructure. So that the phases even can be manipulated somewhat. But I mean, I don't see any reason why the outdoor sports stuff couldn't commence right away. There's been a lot of talk about it. There's actually a lot of funding for it. I'm sure, Jens, you've got a big handle on that already. And there's, like, the Seagram's group is totally funding outdoor ice hockey rinks everywhere in Alberta, in particular in Calgary. I think there's another group too that's got something going for it. So those kinds of things, we can get separate funding and do them separately while we're planning and doing other things to even get phase 2 commenced, right? So I think those are some task force that we got to break off right away and get going on. So again, not to say that the outdoor stuff has to happen, like that. I have actually shown it here. When you see the report, there's an option 1 and an option 2 for starting it. Whether we start now or next year. And there's parts of those things that could happen too in different phases. Like we had talked about like a field maintenance washroom building. That could happen right away. I mean, it's just a permit, right? So, and money. So if we can get the funds, why not? The other thing that I've introduced that no one's probably seen yet or thought about yet is a plaza, as opposed to there was a lot of talk about just like an ice sort of rink, pond, whatever for casual skating. And just the more and more I looked into this thing, the more I realized how a plaza would be just an incredible thing. It's a real pedestrian friendly place, and I think there's no better place than the west side of the building, really. And so that's something to look into. And then lastly, we've got a skate park as well, and we want to probably move just from what I can gather on the site, we probably want to move the playground area into the corner over top of where all the utility easements are, because it's just if you're going to do a skate park, you might want to dig down a little, and so I don't know. And it's concrete, so there's concrete involved. So you'd want to keep that over to where the playground is right now, basically. I think so. There's like 6 phases, I think, ultimately, and phase 1's completed, like I say, so if we started now, did planning, design, and got into working drawings, at least the working drawings could at least commence for phase 2 on the gym, and then that could possibly start next summer, and we'd be done, sometime in between, before Christmas in 2011. And then if we started that following summer for phase in the August, the end of the summer months, then we'd probably be ultimately done somewhere in early 2013, or if we started the following summer, we'd be done early 2014. So that kind of is where that pans out. So those are the phase 2 and 3 are the ones you have to tie together. Those are the harder components. The other ones can happen kind of anywhere we can get funds and however we can develop it. But the site, is really, I think ultimately you want to have a master plan for the whole concept, and then, start raising funds, find out where you can go, and then go from there. Ooh, that's kind of stretchy. But so this is a plan that I've done. This is the latest plan, and site plan that I've done. I've got this. This kind of gives a blurry blow up, but I've got a separate file or folder for that, so I can show you that. But basically, again, the park goes here. If the gym is here, that's phase 2. Phase 3 happens all at once. The outdoor stuff, the hockey rink, the soccer fields out this, on the south east side. The skateboard park here, playground up in here somewhere, because we've got these easement lines. And then in here is where I thought, this would be a great plaza, just a phenomenal plaza. And I saw one in Denver, in Belmar, which had some kind of posts around. I've got it shown as an oval. They had some posts kind of on each side of that they had strung lines for music and lights. And it became, in the summer, it was just an outdoor plaza. Everybody, you could hang out. There was seating, there was barbecues, there was, all kinds of stuff. There was some water feature stuff out there. And then this could be converted in, not really a pond, because what it was a slight indentation so that it could be filled up with water and skated on in the winter. So you have an outdoor plaza in the winter as well, and with skating. And you can still have barbecues and do all those kinds of things on the nice days. So really nice model is that Belmar one in Denver. And I've got pictures of that. So one of the things I did was, to assess the costs particularly, was I kind of overlaid the existing building on top of the new building. And I think this diagram really is helpful to show, where all the stuff is, the gym and where all the interior changes are going to be, and so on and so forth. As far as the new for old, here's the main floor, where we left it. One of the things that really became apparent when talking with the guys doing the Bears Paw ARP for the MD, was that they've really, I don't know if I can get that drawing really fast. There we go. So it's actually this area right here. They kind of call it a bullseye as far as the hamlet goes. And I actually have another drawing of what they had come up with, but essentially they had created a few hubs. They call them hamlets, but they're really, very small, start small. And this obviously is one. It's already one. And this crosshair right here is where that all begins, in this area. And so, that's one thing to consider. There's, the Historic Society and a big chunk of land here. This would be a really good park area, and we could tie that into the tie that into this plaza, so it connects to in a pedestrian